Welcome to the Nostalgia Test Podcast, the show where two longtime friends put their mainstream pop culture past to the ultimate test, the Nostalgia Test.
Yeah, another episode. Not happy about this one, dude. My stomach.
I'm already thinking about it, so
Yeah.
don't even talk about it until you introduce the episode, so we can get into
okay.
it quickly. Okay.
Well, welcome everybody to another episode of the Nostalgia Test. I'm Dan here in LA, and I'm with my friend Manny there in New York. How you doing, Manny?
What's going on? What is up, everybody? What's up? Doing pretty well. Doing pretty well. Had a day off today, so good.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Day off is good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that you had a day off and you're prepped and ready to jump into today's episode, which is going to be a gastric journey.
I could say that I have while I was buying the things that we were about to eat, I was thinking, and just the feeling of what my stomach is going to feel like after eating just a little bit of this, because how I have not eaten this kind of candy in a long time. I'm like, we're doing paleo. We do dark chocolate, 70% only. I mean, I sound extremely bougie right now, and we got into organic stuff. So none of this chocolate, none of the fake stuff that we're about to eat is going to be good for me. But I can't wait. Even though I told you I was only going to have pieces of it, I know I'm going to finish it all. I can't wait. I can't, and I can wait. I know I'm going to feel tomorrow. I'm going to feel this. Yeah. I might even feel it in an hour.
I'm in the same boat. I don't eat dairy anymore. I don't eat sugar. I haven't had candy in I don't know how long. And just to make sure I don't eat all of these candy bars, I'm doing it Seinfeld style. I got my fork, I got my knife, I got a plate. I'm gonna lay it out, cut a little piece off. Yeah. I have to, because you know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna I'm gonna take a bite, and the monster is gonna come out, and I'm gonna, my day will be over. It's
like chasing the dragon. Like, I don't know how long it's been for you, but I could tell you some of these that I'm looking at right now. First of all, let's tell everybody what this episode. This episode is about candy bars that we used to eat when we were in, obviously as kids and in high school, and probably throughout college too, because we used to do a lot of things that made you really hungry. But so I was excited about this only for the fact that I wanted one bar in here, and we got it. But there was one bar we didn't get to get that I was upset about. But guys, we are doing candy bars, and Dan, I'm gonna let Dan, the facts guy, Danny Facts man.
Let me do a brief history of the 4 candy bars we're gonna eat today. The first one we have here is the Three Musketeers. According to Wikipedia, for all these, the Three Musketeers is a candy bar made in the United States and Canada by Mars Incorporated. It is a candy bar consisting of chocolate-covered fluffy whipped nougat. It is virtually identical to the global Milky Way bar and similar to the American version Milky Way bar. So there's a global Milky Way and a American Milky Way. Interesting. But only smaller and minus the caramel topping. The Three Musketeers bar was the third brand produced and manufactured by M&M and Mars, introduced in 1932. Originally had 3 pieces in one package, flavored chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. Hence the name, which is derived from the 1844 novel, The Three Musketeers. Rising costs and wartime restrictions on sugar saw the phasing out of the vanilla and strawberry pieces to leave only the more popular chocolate. Costing 5 cents when it was introduced, it was marketed as one of the largest chocolate bars available, one that could be shared by friends. Wow. That's the Three Musketeers.
First of all, I'm going to interrupt you right there. I was letting you do your little facts. I'm going to tell you, this is the least favorite bar that we have up here. I do not understand why people get this, and why that every place I went to looking for these bars, they had the Three Musketeers. I'm like, what? Why don't you have Take 5? Why don't you have Whatchamacallit? No, what they had was the Three Musketeers. How is this a good bar? I haven't even ate it, and I know I'm not going to like it. The only time that I ever have Three Musketeers is when it's mini and Halloween size, because then the nougat to chocolate ratio is good. But an actual Three Musketeers bar, the full bar, Dan, I know I'm not going to like this. I know it.
I'm just as nervous about this as you, and it was the easiest one to get. In fact, when I first grabbed it, I was at CVS when it finally reopened, and there were 2 huge bars in one package, and I thought, oh, is that the new size? Thankfully, I did not buy that one. But you're right. The Take 5 was impossible to get. In LA, I had to go to 2 stores to even get everything. I couldn't even get a Reese's peanut butter cup at one store. I had to go to CVS and Target to get everything. And I still couldn't get a Take 5.
So I'm going to say the Take 5, I actually saw one in the Farmingdale gas station, which also, by the way, at the same time, I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know what? I should just get the ones that are on the list right now. Like, I see them, right? But I decided not to. I don't know why. Because, oh, yeah, I know why. It was 80 degrees out, and I was like, if I leave these in my car, they're going to melt, and that's going to be gross. But I didn't get them. I was like, oh, I live in Astoria. Every bodega is going to have every single one of these. And when you took away the Take 5, that was going to be easier for me. But guess what? I was very wrong. Because the Whatchamacallit
Oh, my God.
is one of the hardest bars to find anywhere outside of a gas station.
Which doesn't bode well for the Whatchamacallit. Let me just, a brief history of the Whatchamacallit. It was
Yes,
first
please.
introduced in 1978. So it is, I think, out of all 4 of the ones that we're going to do, the youngest bar. The name was devised by Sally Grayson, the writer of Stuffed, Adventures of a Restaurant Family, when she was the associate creative director at Doyle, Dane, and Bernbach, and was in charge of new brands on the Hershey account. From 1978 to 1987, Whatchamacallit consisted of a bar of peanut-flavored crisps that utilized peanut butter as the flavoring agent, coated in a thin layer of chocolate. From 1987 to 2008, Whatchamacallit has introduced peanut-flavored crisps that utilize peanut butter as the flavoring agent, with a layer of caramel and a layer of chocolate coating. Hershey's Whatchamacallit is found in recipes for various food items, including pies, cookies, cheesecakes, and cupcakes. In Canada, an identical candy bar is marketed by Hershey's as Special Crisp, but does
Love
not
it.
have the wide distribution in Canada that the Whatchamacallit has in the U.S. Now, Whatchamacallit, I would say it's hard to measure between Whatchamacallit and Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, which we'll get to the controversy of it being on the list. But it is one of my favorites. It was always my favorite. I love the commercials. They were insane. Whatchamacallit was the hardest to get, though.
Dude, I love the Whatchamacallit. And it's so funny to talk about it. You know, my wife's like, what are we getting? I'm like, the Whatchamacallit. Like, it's just named perfectly. The advertising was great. Everything about the Whatchamacallit is good. I remember, Whatchamacallit. I remember anytime I would be going up to Vermont to go snowboarding, I would stop at a gas station and it would be Rolos, Caramello, and of course a Whatchamacallit. I couldn't leave without a Whatchamacallit. So I was really happy that I finally found it. I will tell you that right before this podcast, we rushed around Astoria, 4 different stores. No, 5 different stores before we finally found one. And the only reason why I found one is the guy asked me, what are you looking for? And I was like, I'm doing a podcast. I need to talk about the Whatchamacallit. And he's like, oh, well, we have this to replace. I'm like, no, I need the Whatchamacallit. One of his clients remembered that he had them, and there was only 2 left on the shelf. Okay. So I almost left, and I was almost going to come to this podcast without the Whatchamacallit. All right. So I got that literally 10 minutes before this podcast. So that's how hard it was. But yet in Farmingdale, Long Island, they got Whatchamacallits everywhere. I'll just let you know that. They even have Whatchamacallits in 2 different wrapper coloring. I got this one, the beige one. So I think me and you got the same flavor. Good.
Yeah.
So mine was, it says made with chocolate, peanut butter flavored crisp, and caramel.
Yeah.
So I want to save this to the end. Okay.
I think it is the one we have to leave to the end. It is hopefully the palate cleanser. So, all right. So that's the Whatchamacallit. Third one on the list that we're doing is the Snickers.
Classic.
A classic bar. So a little bit of history on the Snickers. Snickers is a brand name chocolate bar made by the American company Mars Incorporated, consisting of nougat topped with caramel and peanuts that has been enrobed in milk chocolate. Okay.
That's not creepy.
That is creepy. The annual global sales of Snickers was $2 billion as of 2004. And in 1930, that's when Mars introduced the Snickers. It was named after the favorite horse of the Mars family. The Snickers chocolate bar consists of nougat, peanuts, and caramel with a chocolate coating. The bar was marketed under the name Marathon in the UK and Ireland in 1990. When Mars decided to align the UK product with the global Snickers name, Mars had marketed and discontinued an unrelated bar named Marathon in the United States during the 1970s, which is similar to the UK's Curly Whirly. There were also several other Snickers products, such as Snickers Mini, dark chocolate, ice cream bars, which are awesome, Snickers with almonds, Snickers with hazelnuts, Snickers with pecans, Snickers peanut butter bars, Snickers protein, Snickers with extra caramel, as well as espresso, fiery, and sweet and salty versions. And that is Snickers. I mean, a solid bar. I mean, I enjoyed a Snickers when I was eating chocolate bars. Snickers was really good, but a heavy bar. I mean, it's got weight to it. I mean, you can knock someone in the face with this and right in the face.
The thing about the Snickers is, why would you eat a Milky Way if you could have a Snickers, right?
Yes.
Because like a Milky Way just doesn't do it for me. Like I need the peanuts. So I guess you would eat it if you had a peanut allergy, but then you couldn't really have a Milky Way anyway because it was made in an area that may contain peanuts. So
Absolutely.
either way, go with the Snickers if you're going to go full on. Why I never understood the Milky Way. Never. I thought it's a cop out. I mean, it's fine. It's it's better than the Three Musketeers. I could tell you that. I know I'm going to hate the Three Musketeers, but because at least then the Milky Way had something on top of this nougat. What the heck is nougat anyway? And why does every bar have it? It's like filler.
It totally is.
Yeah.
I don't know what nougat is. I actually saw it spelled, and I was like, I didn't know that's how you spelled it. But at the same time, I don't know why you would eat a Milky Way if you have the Snickers, but I also don't know why you would eat a Payday if you have a Snickers, because I've had a Payday before, and every time I have it, I'm like, why did I just eat that? Because a Payday is literally peanuts wrapped in caramel. That's it. It's just caramel and peanuts or nougat, and it's not no chocolate. It's got nothing. It's just peanuts and caramel or nougat. And I don't understand a Payday. If you have a Snickers, you might as well get the Snickers. Why get a Payday? Why get the Milky Way? I mean, really, why get a Three Musketeers too? Because I'm in total fear of that whole thing. I'm looking at it, and it's just staring me in the face.
So I agree with your review of the Payday, because I looked at Payday as I'm looking at this gas station like mural of Mars candy bars, and I'm like, wow, who likes Payday? I think I've had 2 Paydays in my lifetime, and every time I have it, I go, oh yeah, that's why I don't have it. It's definitely, you're missing the chocolate. All you have is nougat, caramel, and peanuts. I guess that's for people who don't like chocolate. All right, let's go to the last one so we can get on with this.
The last one, I feel like a controversial choice because it could technically be seen as not a candy bar, but I feel like in terms of what a candy bar is, you could eat it with your hands. It's got some sort of outer coating or some container, and it's got a filler or something in it. And so we picked the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup as the 4th choice, and just a little bit on the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. In 1923, the Reese's Candy Company was established in the basement of Reese's home in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Reese had originally worked at the Hershey Dairy Farm, and from the start, he used Hershey chocolate in his confections. The Reese's Peanut Butter Cups were his most popular candy, and Reese eventually discontinued his other lines. H.B. Reese died on May 16, 1956, in West Palm Beach, Florida, passing the company to his 6 sons. So there wasn't much other information on the Peanut Butter Cup other than it was pretty much like the flagship thing that they made. It's an American candy consisting of chocolate cup filled with peanut cream, and it was marketed by the company. They were created by, like I said, H.B. Reese. So that was the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. And I feel like, to me, that was one of my favorites. I love the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. It's a solid piece of candy. I'm a little nervous about eating it. I feel like it's going to give me an instant cavity, but I don't know how you feel about the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, Manny, before we even dive into these.
So I too am a fan, or was a fan, of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I've recently gotten into like dark chocolate peanut butter cups, especially organic ones or ones with almond butter or hazelnut butter. only because of the paleo life in which I dabble in. I mean, that's a classic bar. I mean, yeah, it's not a bar. It's a little, I mean, I guess you could call it a chocolate candy, but it had to be put in there. It was either that or Kit Kat. And by the way, I did buy a Kit Kat by mistake. I thought we were going to do Kit Kats. So I do have it just in case you want me to eat it and like review it for you. But I'm definitely excited for the Reese's because I've had so much good chocolate peanut butter cups or good chocolate any type of butter cup that I'd like to go back to see how fake this all or highly sugared and fake sugar this all is, and do the test, the nostalgia test on this, and see
Yeah.
whether or not it's going to stay there.
Yeah, will it pass the nostalgia test? Like, this is going to be a real rough one, considering is it stay there in our past as something that reminds us of just our childhoods and everything, or is it something that I could bring into the present and possibly enjoy, once in a while? As if it's you're shaking your head no, but I think you're right. So I think we should get started. Let's start with the Three Musketeers. On the bar, it says "You just made my day." I'll be the judge of that. I don't know. So there we go. Opening the Three
Right.
Musketeers.
So right now you get
Yeah,
the chocolate, the milk chocolate taste. I mean,
yeah.
smell.
And it's soft.
Are you ready to eat something that's just meh? Just meh?
I'm cutting a piece off with a knife and fork. I don't care what anyone says.
All right, I'm going to speak while Dan's eating. I just finished mine. Yeah, it's just sugar to me. Nothing but sugar and some sort of like nougat almost has like a taffy consistency to it. And I guess the only thing about that bar is that it's a chocolate bar that has some sort of soft inner to it, the nougat, and you feel like somewhat filled because of that. Because if you just had the chocolate, how do you make that soft?
I don't
Because
know.
the nougat has chocolate flavor in it.
I mean, it just. How do you eat more of this? Like, it just. I like that one bite. I'm like, okay, but it's chocolate, but it tastes not like chocolate. It tastes like just artificial sweetness.
I'm
I
going in one more time. Hold on. I'm going in one
Yeah,
more time.
okay, yeah, one more bite.
I'll mute. I'll mute. All right. Yeah. I mean, basically, I taste what soft chocolate tastes
Yeah.
like chewy chocolate. It tastes like chewy chocolate.
I mean, I can see what you're saying, like eating the small size, like the little pieces I'm cutting off of this bar, that's good enough. I feel like if I ate the whole thing, I'm gonna get a headache. And it just I can already feel like my brain being changed.
Do
Like,
you feel the addictive chemicals that they
oh yeah.
put in for the kids
Because your
already?
mouth just starts immediately salivating, like more. I'm like, no, but I don't want more. But my body's like, sure you do. But like, I already feel dumber. I don't I don't feel good about myself. I feel like my teeth hurt a little bit already. This is already going downhill. But
All right. So
Three Musketeers.
I'll say I knew exactly how we were going to feel about this one because I never really, like I said, Three Musketeers, probably the only time I've ever really enjoyed them is in Halloween size. Most chocolates are better in the Halloween size because the consistency is just exactly right. Especially with the Three Musketeers. The dark chocolate Three Musketeers is even a little bit better. But I kind of knew we were going to go with this on this one, and it's not even nostalgic. The nostalgia of it is that it sucks. Like it was never. It's the candy bar in which that if I grab it and there's nothing left, and I don't even want those those like sugar things in the Halloween bags that have all the different colored sugar tablets that look like
Oh, Necco wafers,
little pills. It was like a
like
tube.
little wafer. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
It was either that and you had a Snickers. I mean, it's Three Musketeers, and you just didn't want the sugar. You grab the Three Musketeer and you just eat it. But I'm gonna vote on this right now. This is a terrible candy bar. Why it's still popular, I have no idea. Why in every store I went to, they had this shiny freaking tinfoil. It says
Yeah.
keep it 100. That's what this says. Keep it hundreds. Spread positivity. Throw shine. That's what the hashtag is on this. Throw shine.
I don't know what that even means. What does that even mean?
So the description is whipped up, fluffy, chocolate on chocolate taste. So what we said is exactly that. It's
Yeah,
fluffy chocolate.
it's
That's it.
fluffy chocolate, and it's gross. I mean, could you imagine eating a vanilla or strawberry version of that?
No, no, I'm pissed off that I even had to say.
Like,
It's
if
like,
the thing I think it's closest to is like a Charleston Chew. That was like the thing that where like I was like, what is this? Why am I eating this too? Like a Charleston Chew. If I got that in Halloween, I was like, I don't know if I want this. And it kind of reminds me of that, but softer. And the other thing that I'm thinking of as even talking about this chocolate bar is if it doesn't pass the nostalgia test, is it as bad as take your pants off and jacket?
yeah, it's in line with that. No, it's even worse than that because I'll just tell you, I didn't even like this as a kid. I don't know why. Dan, did you eat this as a kid?
I did, and it's like it was there, and I liked it, but I didn't. And then I think over time, I just stopped eating it. But I do remember as a kid having them, or someone in my family liked them, or something like that.
Well,
Yeah,
someone has to because they have not discontinued this.
right.
I'm trying to get through this at the end is about the take five because it's what
Yes,
I'm worried about the take five.
yes.
But they haven't discontinued this, and this has been around for a very long time. So obviously, people like it. It's simple, easy, fluffy chocolate.
You're talking
I
about it's
get
been
it.
here since 1932.
I mean, the amount of sugar that's in it, I already feel like I'm like racing a mile a minute, and I already speak fast. So by the end of this podcast, I'm going to be
Yeah,
mumbling everything, which
yeah.
I
So
already do.
let's
So
let's
let's
just put it
move on this
aside.
one. Let's
That
put
was
it aside.
terrible.
This is
That
a
was just
terrible
terrible.
chocolate sugar
Yeah,
mess.
yeah,
If you're gonna eat any of these candy bars, do not choose Three Musketeers.
yeah,
Please have them discontinue this.
yeah.
Petition them to discontinue the Three
Yeah,
Musketeers.
if you're thinking of eating a candy bar, this is a warning. Do not eat the Three Musketeers. Don't even eat it for this episode. It was terrible. It was horrible. Okay, so the next one is Snickers.
Yeah, let's go with Snickers.
Okay, so Snickers. I mean, I have better memories of a Snickers. Why? Yeah, right. I mean, it's okay. Here we go.
You go. I'm gonna talk while you go because
All
you're
right.
gonna go on your mute and your little fork that you have going here. But
Seinfeld
I
Snickers.
remember, I know I'm going to like the Snickers. And again, I'm going to keep saying this about the Halloween candy bar. The Halloween mini candy bar is probably the best of all versions of any candy that comes out. Anytime I talk to anybody, they're like, oh, the mini one's great. Great chocolate and great middle consistency. So I know it's going to be good. And I know you're gonna enjoy it. It's going to be all right. I know exactly what you'll say. So you're almost done. I see. Your fork is flipping. He has a fork, ladies and gentlemen. He's eating it with a fork. I'm eating it like a regular candy bar. Go ahead, Dan. I may finish this.
I mean, it smelled it, and it was like chocolate and peanut butter, just a rush of chocolate and peanut butter right to your face. So that was nice. Unlike the Three Musketeers, which I still have it here. Let me just like, yeah, I don't like the way that smells. And over time, it just starting to smell even worse. But the Snickers was nice, actually. I am eating it Seinfeld style, knife and fork, and it's it's good. You got the peanuts, you have your little bit of chocolate, you have your nougat, you have your caramel. I don't know if I can eat the whole thing, but I would say that this is something that I would probably rather eat than the Three Musketeers, of course. But I think it is something that I would consider eating if I was like, I don't know, feeling like having some really like bad non-organic candy. But definitely, it's very sweet because you could feel the sugar right away in the back of your throat. It like stings. It's like sweet in a way. It's like, whoa, that's a lot of sugar.
So, agree totally. It's definitely satisfying. It's good. Has the perfect balance of all the milk chocolate, the nougat, if you will. Doesn't taste like chocolate. It actually has. I mean, I guess everything's now flavored peanut butter in this thing. I'm a little allergic to peanut butter. I found out, so this is gonna hurt me later. It's fine. But yeah, I always finish Snickers in one shot. Like I might do it while you're, explaining the next candy, but I already know I'm going to feel like crap. I will say this is definitely still a candy bar that I would go to when I just want to eat a bad candy bar. I mean, it's candy, it's bad anyway, but this would be one that I'll never not eat. It definitely passes a nostalgic test. It's still as good as I remember, as good, but I also think it's like it's the sugar in it. That's what's in it that's getting us to constantly go back to it. That's what they get. That's why the kids always need to have it. I mean, there's so much sugar in it. That's what I'm noticing, like all over my mouth right now. It's like it's just so much sugar. So forget about it, even the taste of it. Your body just wants that sugar. But yeah, it's good. It's middle of the road, fine, balanced well.
That second bite was a little harder to eat. I just felt like I was chewing more. Like there's a lot of chewing involved in a Snickers. I feel like you're chewing through a nose on the peanuts are there. It's a lot of stuff going on. You're stuck in my teeth. But I feel like there's a lot more. It's heavy. I don't know if I would necessarily be able to eat a whole candy bar, but I definitely think I could eat, I can enjoy the little Snickers Halloween candy, like the party size. And maybe that's just because, like, who needs to eat this whole candy bar? Like, you don't need to. And, like, it says serving size whole one bar. I don't know about that. Like, you think you can just pop a little chocolate in your mouth. You could probably, over a few days, eat this whole thing piece by piece. But if I was to think about it passing a nostalgia test, I think for me, I'm going to say for me, it remains nostalgic. I don't think it goes past that for me. I think it just will remain nostalgic. So it doesn't necessarily pass the nostalgia test for me. It just remains nostalgic. Three Musketeers is a no all the way through. I can't even imagine ever eating one of those again or telling anyone to eat it. But Manny, with the Snickers, for you, is it past the nostalgia test for good still?
I'm gonna say probably not, only because of the lifestyle that or eating lifestyle that I've gotten into. The only time I'll eat this is on like Halloween, and it'll be like quick pops, one or two for the week, or the time that the bar has them out, and like they're just there, and then when I get enough of it, I'll just throw it out or give it away because it's just too much sugar, man. I haven't had that much refined sugar lately, and I already feel it. I know tomorrow I'm gonna have a headache. Yeah, so I guess it just stays there. It stays in. It was good when we were kids and we were eating that way. As you get older, obviously you want to clog your arteries and get filled up with sugar. And I feel old just saying it, but yeah, it's not something I'm gonna like buy a Costco size of to have in my house.
Yeah, there's no way. I think, like you said, it's a good Halloween candy that I remember getting and being super excited about. And still, if I see like a Halloween size, I'll take one and I'll eat it. But it's not something that if I'm going into a store, I'm buying this. I don't feel like I ever wanted to buy any candy, especially in the last 10 years or so. I mean, I think I've just been buying, like you said, organic chocolate or whatever because it tastes better. I can already feel my body rejecting it. One, because I also don't eat dairy, so there's so much dairy in these things. Yeah, it doesn't pass the nostalgia test. It remains nostalgic, though. I will give Snickers that. There's some good memories. But I guess we go on to Reese's Peanut Butter Cup now.
Reese's, here we go.
I mean,
I already.
just before we even dive into Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, I love these things. I mean, these were one of my favorite things when I was a kid. I loved them. And I would get the 4-pack and just eat the 4-pack like they were cookies. It is a weird choice on the candy bar list when we decided to do this. So I'm curious about your thoughts on having the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup on the list here.
Well, let me finish swallowing because I jumped ahead. First of all, I just housed it, whole thing gone. I definitely was happy that we had it on there. It has to be. I don't think I've ever really ran into somebody who doesn't like Reese's peanut butter cups or liked them as a kid. I finished it in 2 bites. I call it the Manny bite. I could probably finish it in one. It's packed full of a good peanut butter, cream, or whatever you want to call it, blended up, sugar and chocolate. I mean, what else do you need in a simple peanut butter cup? It is exactly what it is. I understand why they didn't have to really do other things. I mean, you could get like Easter ones, and I heard those are good, but the cup is so good. Dan, I agree. I used to get the big sleeve, the 4-pack, and I used to finish it in like 5 seconds. It's terrible after you do it.
Okay, I just ate a whole cup. I can feel my teeth just going, what are you doing to me? The one thing that's weird about the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup is the peanut butter, though. Like, you know what I mean? It's like freeze dried or like astronaut peanut butter. So when you're thinking of creamy and you bite into it, it's just like snaps off like chalk or something. It is a weird experience. I think out of the three that we've had so far, I feel like Reese's peanut butter cup is the sweetest out of all three so far. I feel like there's way more sugar, or it just tastes way sugary than any than the Three Musketeers or the Snickers, and I am regretting probably eating that whole thing. I'm not eating that second bar. I just saw that you
I
house
just had
that
the
somewhere.
second one. I had the second one. Yeah. No, I knew I was going to.
Like when I read the
Yeah,
ingredients and I get
I'm gonna
to
call you
milk
tomorrow
fat,
and yell it. Milk fat.
like,
Ew.
ew, why is there milk fat?
Um,
Oh
hold on a
God,
second. I'm trying to
22
see.
grams of sugar. So is that the whole package? Yeah, it's the whole package.
So the other one, Snickers, was 28 grams of sugar.
So there's less sugar in the Reese's, but it feels like there's more sugar.
My throat is like closing up. You know what's great is
We're
this
doing this
episode
for
is
you.
great
We
because
are
it's
doing
live.
this for you, everybody. This is
The best part about this review is that this is live and we didn't like write this down like the other ones.
no.
But no, I'm gonna say I'm gonna go back and take back that it's good. It's bad. Okay. It's not. I mean, it's good as a kid. No, I can't. I'm sorry. Trader Joe's cups so much better. Justin's peanut butter
Oh,
cups so
Justin.
much better.
Thank Justin's. So good.
You
So
know.
good.
No, I'm
Reese's
gonna
peanut
say
butter cup.
no to this, Dan. I'm gonna stop this right now and say no. This
Are
is
you gonna?
actually not good. Okay.
Is it Three Musketeers bad, or is it Snickers where it's just like I feel like it's not. I feel like uh,
I feel like it's we shouldn't be having this anymore. Okay. Yes, it was good as a kid. Of course, any candy is good as a kid. We start talking about cereal like Captain Crunch and all that stuff. But
ooh.
this is a bad. This is so sweet. Dude, we basically should next time we should do where we're just eating sugar. Because
Like a
that's what
bag of sugar. It's like, all right, so
because
this
that's what
bag of sugar. How's that bag of sugar? This is
my throat is
now
closing.
I know why they. Okay, how did our parents not know that this was all bad for us? Is beyond me. Like all they had to do was take a bite of this, and their teeth, like my teeth hurt. Like my teeth hurt. I need to go after this and brush my teeth. I need to like go to the dentist or something because I'm not even eating the second one. It's got to stay there because that second one it would be a bad idea.
I
So
I shouldn't have done that. I regret. I don't really normally regret things that I eat, but that's pretty bad. I definitely sound old on this one. I mean, I'm gonna be 40 in January, and I've just been eating so much healthier, and I was just like, wow. After you eat even healthier snacks,
yeah,
you can tell how fake this is, and how there's just stuff in it that makes your body pretend that you need it.
like I'm fighting the urge to eat the Snickers because I
Just get
know
rid of it.
I don't want to eat it,
Yeah.
but my body's going, no, we need it. Like all of a sudden, like a candy version of Jim Morrison is in my body, and it's
It's a drug, man. This is
oh
a drug. All these things are just, and they're sold at drugstores, which are even funnier. But like,
yeah,
it's a drug.
yeah, it's like
You know?
Reese's peanut butter crack. Like that's what
Yeah.
that should be. I get what you're saying. Like I've been eating so much healthier for the last more than 10 years now. I haven't had any meat. I make all my own stuff almost. We make desserts at home now. We just make cookies that are gluten free. There's no sugar. We use bananas to like as a sugar substitute. This whole moment, this moment right now, I've had more sugar right now than I've had in probably a decade,
Yeah.
possibly.
So you're off the rails more than I am. Up until like a year and a half ago, I mean, you've known me for a long time. I had
Yeah.
like the biggest sweet tooth. I'm like the dessert guy, and I'll eat a whole like thing to myself, flan, this and that. And I've definitely cut that out because I had gained a lot of weight. Just reminds me of going on a bender
Mm.
and like the next day being like, what the hell did I do? And I'm already feeling that like an hour in, and I could just imagine how you feel because
Oh yeah.
I sometimes dabble in the sweets, but You
haven't.
haven't touched this stuff at all. So yeah, I mean, I don't. I again, I'm gonna jump to this nostalgia test because I'm just looking at the time, but I
Well,
like it. As a kid, I like the fact that just thinking about what I used to like when I used to get them, getting the 4-pack, just whatever. But no, it's not. It's not going past
no.
just thinking about it
No.
anymore. I'm not doing it.
It's
I'm not doing it.
nostalgic. That's it. It's a nostalgic. I couldn't even eat two of them, and I already feel the headache. And you're right. It's almost like going on a bender where like I feel like I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and there's gonna be like Mike and Ike's everywhere or something, and I'm just gonna not remember what happened.
I don't even want to do any episodes of like sweet things because I know this is just how we're going to be talking about it. Like
Yeah.
if we ever just went with candy and like Skittles and Starbursts and stuff, like we already know. I could just like review it without talking about it. It's just sugar, and that's
Yeah.
how we're going to talk about. We're going to bore everybody who's listening because they're just going to be like, "Oh, it's just like their candy bar." I'm not doing it anymore, Dan. I'm putting our foot down. We're going to skip
That's
over
it.
it.
The
Yeah.
sugar nostalgia tests are over. we've everybody like that's it. Manny has put his foot down. It doesn't matter. Like we don't anything that has to do with candy or sugar is out. It's over. Fruit roll-ups done. We're not even doing it.
Dan, we can't do that to ourselves. Like, come on. Like, I'll just say, well, we could talk about it. We could talk about how we felt.
We can talk about it.
I don't think we should do this to ourselves.
Oh
We're
my
not even done with the last one, dude. Look
yeah.
how off the rails we are.
Oh my god. All right,
I'm
so
gonna.
Reese's
You tell me.
nostalgic. That's it. And it's not good. I just want everyone to understand. It's not good. But it doesn't taste right. Like I don't know. God.
Dan, you're
No.
exactly right. It's not good. I was lying to myself. It's not good. Go with the Justins. They
Go with
even
the
have
Justin.
they have almond butter ones.
Oh,
Just go.
yeah.
This is so much better.
Yeah. I mean,
Then,
if
all
you
right.
really want to like think about it, I think about it as a nostalgia candy bar. That's it. But it's not good. I wouldn't eat it. I wouldn't even tell anyone to eat this. No. Justin's.
Yep, Justin's. Just go with Justin's. I mean,
We're not even sponsored by Justin's, but if you want, if Justin's wants to, like, go right ahead. But Justin's people.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the. I hear you crinkling the next one.
Oh,
The Whatchamacallit. This is mine and yours favorite
I'm
growing up.
afraid. I'm afraid. It's gonna ruin everything, like our whole childhood. I hate
Oh
this.
no!
I'm 5 episodes
Here
in.
we
I hate
go.
this podcast
Here we go.
already, but
Here we go. So I'm gonna.
go ahead.
I'm not gonna mute myself on this one.
Okay.
I'm just gonna let people understand. All right. It's crunchy. Okay. So. All right. Yeah. So right away you hit the crisp. So it's kind of like I would say a crunch bar, but with more crisp in it, which I always like crunch bars. The chocolate's very light. There's not much to it. You do get a good balance of peanut butter, I would say.
I mean, one thing I'll say is this: I'm glad that this one has some texture to it because the Three Musketeers, no texture. It's like eating a fat ghost or something. And then you have, and then the Snickers, which I feel like the texture of the Snickers is just density with some peanuts in it. So it's like you're trying to. It's weird. And Reese's peanut butter cup was like chocolate to dryness, like peanut butter dryness. Now the whatchamacallit is very interesting. It's always been an interesting thing because it has those crisps in it, kind of like a crunch bar, like you said. But they go for it. Like they don't just like pepper the crisps in it like a crunch bar. They're like, no. The main thing about the whatchamacallit is the crisp. We're making it crispy. We're pouring a whole box of Rice Krispies into this thing. I'm still trying to think about whether it's good or not. Manny, oh my god. Manny is now finishing the last piece of his whatchamacallit.
I'm going for it, bro.
Go, do it. I'm gonna have
All
another
right,
piece,
listen.
see what happens.
Listen.
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm gonna chew.
By all means, do I think not? I mean, it's not amazing at all, but I think I like it because of the texture. There's something to it. There's not just like the flakiness of this peanut butter from the Reese's peanut butter cup. That's not really peanut butter. You're not really sure what it was. Like it was frozen at one point. then they rehydrated it, and then they froze it. The fluffiness, weird chocolate thing of Three Musketeers. Yeah, and of course, whatever, the density of the Snickers. But this is kind of, it gives you kind of like a light flavor, a light taste to the filler of this. It's not too anything. I think a whatchamacallit is very balanced of what it is. I do not get the same feeling that I used to with it. I used to think it was like phenomenal. I never wanted anybody to say bad things about the whatchamacallit.
It is the most unhealthy one, I think, of all of them. It's like 48% saturated fat. How is
Great,
that
I'm glad
possible? 10 grams of saturated fat, where the Snickers has 4.5. I would say this about the whatchamacallit. Although it's telling me that it's way worse health-wise, it doesn't have that like sting of sugar. You know what I mean? Like everything else we just ate, I feel like had like a sting of sugar. Like it was just like that's sugary, and I kind of feeling it in my teeth or my throat and stuff like that. Where like the whatchamacallit, even though it's got a lot of sugar, it doesn't feel overly sweet. It just feels kind of balanced in it, I guess. I love that.
I think that's coming from the crisp.
Yeah,
The crisp kind of like weighs that out.
yeah. It's just, I don't know. I'm also feel like my IQ is lowering, so it's harder to like understand what I'm trying to say while I'm doing this because it's just everything that's happening is really bad. I'm gonna have to drink like a gallon of water after this. But I'm like in the middle, because I am enjoying that. I'm not eating the rest of it, but I did enjoy that much more than the Snickers and the Three Musketeers, and definitely more than the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
I totally agree. I'm not going against that. I think out of all the four that we had, and I'm glad we don't have the fifth one because I don't know if I can handle it. I think that this was, it's just balanced right. It wasn't, whatever, you might say it's the unhealthiest, but wasn't too much peanut butter, wasn't too much chocolate or sugar, and the crisp kind of like the texture of it felt real. I'm not hating it out of all the other ones where I was just like, but again, I'm never going to do this again.
Yeah, I don't know if I would tell anyone to eat this still. I think,
First of all, it's hard to find unless you live in like Long Island and you want to go to a gas station. I guess it's not hard to find.
how crazy though was it that this was like how hard some of these were to find. I just didn't understand. But if I'm gonna go and just say, although my love for the whatchamacallit, as we were talking about it at the beginning of the episode, was just like huge, I still have that same love, but I'm going to say that the whatchamacallit must remain nostalgic. It's nostalgic. I mean, it doesn't, with everything else that's out there right now and what people are making, it just, you can't compare this to anything that's happening new right now. Like people can hear, I'm just having a hard time. Like this stuff is just.
Yeah. No, I think I definitely agree. I think there's so much more out there now. There's so much more artisanal candy makers, chocolate makers, healthier options that you can do for sweets, alternatives, that it doesn't make sense to go with all this. In my opinion, this is like the Budweiser versus like a craft lager, right?
Right.
Yeah, Budweiser's fine. It's hard to make a beer taste like that, like nothing. I make it. I know how hard it is. But like, if you told me you had Utica Club and you had Budweiser, I'm grabbing the Utica Club. But there's plenty of people who can have the Budweiser, but it's just so much stuff in it. They put so much filler, just like this. It's like I said, Justin's. There's even so many other like smaller companies. There's local companies that are making better chocolate made from real things where you can get like sweetness from, jackfruit or so many different options than, because I'm kind of not on dairy also. And if I do it, the paleos, you're not really supposed to have dairy at all. So whatever. So it's got to be like 70% or higher cocoa, like I said before. Or there's just like plenty of those, like I have like paleo bars and they're like nuts and like sweetened with like raw honey. Like everything is like just so much healthier for you. And you could still get that sweetness that everybody likes, that sweet tooth. But like all this was just crap. It was just basically this. You should open the bar and sugar just falls out of it, and that's it. We were going to discuss the Take 5.
Oh yeah.
I guess the only thing I want to say about Take 5, and I wish we only had it only because there was pretzel in it. And the Take 5 had basically every aspect to, and there was crunch in it. So it had every aspect that you wanted in a candy bar. But now I'm thinking I know why. You got the savory part of it, and you got the crunch. And you need that crunch. I think we liked the Snickers. Why? The peanut crunch. We liked the, whatchamacallit. You got the crispy crunch. I mean, that once you said about that Reese's, about the peanut butter in there, yeah, it just tasted like nothing.
No, and the thing also about the Take 5, which I always remembered, was that saltiness from the pretzel, and that cuts through like the sugary sweetness of everything else. You know, just a little bit of salt, right? Like that might have made the. No, I wouldn't have made any of these better. I don't know. Like I just. Just like, but you know what I mean. Like sometimes when like if I'm making dinner or we're eating dinner and something is like even like a heavy pasta, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, so you need something to like cut through all this, like break this up or brighten it. And just squeeze a little lemon, and just that little lemon like brightens it. I feel like these things have no brightness. It's just like, it's just sweet and it brings you down. But I would say with the Whatchamacallit, I feel like I have a special place in my heart for the Whatchamacallit, the commercials, you know, on the Saturday morning cartoons, like watching those crazy commercials.
Yeah, wasn't it like kind of like a comic book strip?
Yeah.
Like their whole advertisement was like you were looking at a black and white slash kind of like Sin City type of comic book. I loved that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought the advertising was great. I still remember the person singing it. I can't really say whatchamacallit. Yeah, it was like
so
you know, it was like Fanta Fanta. Like there's something about that you always remembered, and obviously advertising works. So like, you know, you got that, and I'll tell you, I think that's why Reese's works too. Like if you look at it, it's like orange, easy. It's got the cup flavor. You could wear this as a T-shirt. Like there's a reason why people go for it. You see that orange label, you go for it. Now we could also go back to Three Musketeers. Silver sticks out. You think Klondike bar, you think Three Musketeers. You know it. You know it, you know?
Yeah.
And the Milky Way, and I think the Milky Way and Snickers always had like a tug of war with each other. Probably, I think they're the same company, but.
I think they are, but even if they're not, I don't understand.
They kind of look, it's like Almond Joy and Mounds, right?
Yeah.
It's Snickers and Milky Way. Like Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't. Snickers has nuts, Milky Way doesn't. Like that was their Almond Joy and Mounds. Like except you didn't have that like great commercial for that.
Yeah.
Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't. So I mean, what I would say,
there's something wrong with us that we know all these things.
Well, I will say what's nostalgic about it all is that you do remember all the jingles and the advertisements, and like obviously we live in a marketing world, and we've lived in it, and that's what drives everything. And it actually it stuck with us. Like all these things have been in my brain because I see it all the time, even when I'm not going to get it, and I go to the counter and I'm out Walgreens getting like prescription drug or something. You look down, you see that, you know, in the back of your mind, all the different ones, you know, those colors, you know what they are, you know, what's in them, what they used to, or you like remember what they tasted like. You almost want to grab it sometimes. It's all marketing right there in front of you. And, you know, so and it's all just sugar. They might as well just have sugar.
Well, there was candy that was just sugar. I mean, think of that one that had the dipping stick that was sugar, and then you dipped it into the powdered sugar, and you just ate sugar.
Yeah, and it didn't matter what color it was. It was sugar. It didn't matter.
Yeah,
they
like
made it colorful for marketing purposes. It was sugar. You're right. I remember you said it's true. First of all, the stick itself is sugar.
Yeah.
It's a white stick of solid sugar that you licked, and you went like this with the powder, and you poured it all over your mouth, and you just ate it. And they're like Pop Rocks, sugar. Those freaking rings. Remember the lollipop rings?
Yeah. But think about how gross that is to walk around with a lollipop or a ring pop or something that's got moisture on it, and then you're like waving it around like it's just like.
What about Jawbreakers? Jawbreakers is like just layers of sugar. It's straight up right there. You're sitting there. You put it away for later. Ew. think about this.
The big ones that you put in a bag? Yeah.
Oh,
I had one friend that did that. I'm like, you got to go away with that. You can't.
I did it.
Yeah, but like even the name of that, it's like they're not lying to you. Like, what should we call this? Jawbreaker. It's just like, I don't know if they're gonna buy that. It's like, nah, those dummies will buy it. Who cares? Just call it root canal. We don't give it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, I mean, even when you think of these things, like this bar, the Three Musketeers bar, was named after a novel that was written in the 1800s.
And they kept the name even after they got rid of the 2 flavors.
Yeah, they're like, we don't have 3 flavors anymore. Who cares? Call it Three Musketeers. These dummies don't care. So, like, it doesn't matter. It actually is an insult. It's insulting.
Wow.
But just to recap with everybody, I'm sweating.
Whew. We're about to get to that crash soon.
Yeah. It's not good. But Three Musketeers, no all the way. Three Musketeers, if you really want to have a terrible day, I would say eat at Three Musketeers, listen to Take Your Pants Off and Jacket, and that will be
top it off with a Reese's cup.
Yeah, and then top it off with a Reese's peanut butter cup to really give it that like push. But I feel like Three Musketeers, I think we both agreed, did not pass even it being nostalgic. It's just got to go away, all the way away. Snickers, nostalgic, didn't
It's
pass.
Fine. Good. I like it. It's nostalgic. I like it.
It's a nostalgic candy bar. Didn't pass the nostalgia test, but it definitely is nostalgic. Reese's.
More and more I think about it, Dan, I say it fails.
I think it fails everything. I think it's got to go in the same category as the Three Musketeers.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
not having it ever again after this whole thing.
Yeah, Reese's, Three Musketeers and Reese's are both in the same world. It is something that no one should ever eat. You don't have to experience it. We did it for you. That's that. And Whatchamacallit, nostalgic. It was more enjoyable than the other ones, but I don't think I'm ever going to eat this again. In fact, all this is going in the garbage after this.
Yeah, I'm like 3 minutes away from throwing it all out. I keep looking at the wrappers and I'm just disgusted with myself. I literally feel like we just had a binger on Zoom staring at each other. Instead of drinking and getting hammered, we ate really bad candy. And it's like we went through a breakup and we just wanted to feel sorry for ourselves. This is bad, man. And I'm going to put it out there, listeners, like we were going to give you guys, start giving everybody give us suggestions of things you want us to do from like the eras of this to that. I'm going to tell you the sugars are out. Like, I don't think I could do it, man. Like fruit roll up, you know what that's going to be like. It's just sugar.
It might have to be a guest episode. So like each one of us has one thing. Because I don't think I can eat several things again.
No.
I think I'd rather drink Jaeger.
Yeah. No. I'd rather do an episode where we get drunk live. That should be like our 21st episode. There you go.
Yeah.
We'll drink Natty Light and Bud Ice.
Oh my God! There's have to be like a disclaimer on that episode.
Yes.
This was I mean, we haven't seen each other in a little. We haven't talked in a little bit, and I'm sad to say that this wasn't that enjoyable.
No. Basically, as you get older, you will find out that you do not like any of these sugary candy bars. And if you're still eating them, God bless you and good luck.
Yeah. But I guess let us know what you think about Three Musketeers, the Snickers, and the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, and the Whatchamacallit. But I think we did a good job. I think that all these things, Snickers and Whatchamacallit, nostalgic, didn't pass the test. Three Musketeers and Reese's failed everything and need to go away. And thanks for listening. And any final words there, Manny?
No, I'm done, bro. I'm mad.
Okay. Well, on that, everybody, thank you so much. Yeah.
I guess, like I said, listeners, let us know what you think. Let us know what your favorite candy bar as a kid is. And go get it and eat it and let us know what you feel about it and how you feel about it now. And we'll see you guys next time on the wonderful nostalgia test. Nostalgia test.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. Please subscribe to the Nostalgia Test podcast to know when new episodes drop. Don't forget to leave us 5 stars and a positive review so more people can find the podcast. Share your thoughts and memories on today's topic on our Twitter at Nostalgia Test and on Instagram at The Nostalgia Test. Tune in next time because you never know what pop culture will pop up on The Nostalgia Test.